Okay. So once we go live with the website right now, you'll see we're still using the KBC Sandbox site.
Mhm.
But once we're live and I give you the new logins for the site, basically once you're logged in, what you're going to see at the top of your screen is this little black bar here. And basically what this allows you to do is it allows you to get to the dashboard of the website. So if I were going to do that, I would just click here up here at this educational endeavors logo right here. Sorry, not the logo, but the little text up top.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure how familiar you are with WordPress, but this is basically your basic WordPress dashboard. A lot of these things on this sidebar here you won't need to deal with. I'll basically go over what you will need to know, but I just wanted to show you what that looked like.
We're familiar with it because our current website is WordPress also.
Perfect. Awesome. That's
It
great to
looks
know.
a little bit different, but yeah.
Great. Okay, so a lot of what I use this bar for is just toggling back and forth between pages. What I'm going to go over now is you might be familiar with already since you're on WordPress, but I'll just go over it quickly anyway. So what I'm going to be starting with is just editing text. So I'm actually going to be starting with this text down here. I'm going to go over this slider later on because that's a different section. But for now, I'll show you how to just quickly edit just any of the text throughout the site. And basically what I'm showing you now is pretty universal throughout the site. So once you know how to do this on one page, you'll be able to do it on all the others as well. So let's start with this Start Your Journey Today. Basically, you'll be able to see that it's laid out pretty similarly on the back end. So if you did want to edit this text, you'll be able to quickly see that, oh, this is a little block I want to change.
How, Julia, other than having that tab that's already open, how would you get to this page from the
Absolutely. So, like I said, I do kind of like to toggle back and forth using that view page. But if you did just want to do it once you're on the back end, you would just click pages right here, and you'd be able to see that just from your dashboard as well.
Oh, so you're saying that when you're logged into WordPress, if a page is open in the regular view, you can
Mm-hmm.
click view page and it toggles.
Exactly. So if I'm logged in, like first you would have to log in and you would see that full dashboard view.
Right.
But once I'm logged in, I'm able to see the front end of the page. And if I want to just go ahead and edit that page, I can click edit page right here. And it
I
would
got it.
take me right to that back end of the page.
Gotcha. Okay.
But to answer your question, if you were just starting on the dashboard, you could just click pages right here and you can actually sort by title or date. So in this case, I think it's just called home.
Right.
So I
That's
would
what I'm
just,
familiar with doing. I just didn't know about this other thing, the toggling thing.
yep, and this totally works as well. I just find that it's a little bit easier for people that don't have as much WordPress experience. So that's great to know too. Okay, so since you are familiar with WordPress, you probably know how to edit text, but basically with this page builder, it's super easy to just kind of hover over and see what you're editing. So let's say I did want to edit this Start Your Journey Today text. I could just click on this little pencil, which is universal throughout WordPress for edit. And it really just kind of looks like a Word document. So you'd be able to change any of this out. Just for the sake of this, I'm going to change that to an exclamation point. And I think it's the same probably for your version of WordPress as well. But what we really like to drive home is the need to save your changes twice. So once I make this change, and let's say I like that change that I just made, I would hit Save Changes here. I'm not going to do it right now just for the sake of just because I don't want to change it on the front end, but I would hit Save Changes here and then just hit update here. And that basically, once I hit update here, that's actually going to make my changes live on this site, on the live site as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did you have any other questions about changing text? I don't know if that's something you guys do a lot, but I did just want to make sure you know how to do that.
I mean, we are going to, at the start here, we're going to do a lot of text changes.
Okay,
A lot of
perfect.
the stuff we have in there now is not up to date.
Got it. Nope, totally makes sense. And while we're on changing text, it's going to be the same. Like this is a header here, But say you wanted to change something in academic tutoring right here, what I would basically do is just look for that academic tutoring heading. Let me see if I can find that. Right here. So that's how I know that if I did want to change that body text right there, again, it's just hovering over that little element and clicking the pencil again.
Okay.
And from here, you'll be able to easily see that this is this text right here. And this might look a little bit different just because we do have like a lot of different elements as far as like the icons and things like that. So if you did ever need to change out that icon for any reason, you'll see that there, for this specific element, it's called the icon with text. So if you did want to change any of that, again, it's just the little pencil icon. And a lot of these settings I wouldn't mess with just because that's part of the design of the site. But you have like a choice of a ton of different icons here. You could play around with those if you did like end up changing the title or something. And then your actual title, if you just scroll down, is right here. Academic tutoring.
So would you have to change it there, or could you just hover over the word academic tutoring where you were before and edit there?
So this academic tutoring right here is actually part of this icon with text section. So if I hover over academic tutoring, I'm just going to get to like the same space that I was just at.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, just so you know, I think it looks like we're going to have access to a lot more of the structural elements of this site we had with our old one. So that's why a lot of this doesn't look familiar to us because, yeah, like we were never able to mess with any of the design elements really.
Sure. And a lot of it is, of course, you can kind of play around with it if you did want, but if you did just want to change out the text, it's very kind of easy and straightforward to see where you could just change out the text and not really touch anything else.
Okay.
And since like a lot of the elements I know you weren't as familiar with, I know we have a lot of buttons throughout the website, so I did want to go over that as well. You can see this button element right here, which we just have, like if you wanted to register or learn more. Say you wanted to change out that link for this, again, this academic tutoring section. So very straightforward. Again, once I hover over the element that I want to edit, it'll say button. Again, it's just a pencil. And then once I'm there, there's a lot of formatting, but then your link is just going to be right here.
Okay.
So you can change that out as well whenever you need to. And then just click Save Changes and then Update again to make any of those live. Okay, so those are pretty straightforward. I did want to touch on this homepage slider because it is a little bit different. So instead of just going back to edit page here, what I would actually do is I would go to the back end of the site, which you can toggle back and forth to from any time. You could click edit page, or again, just click educational endeavors dashboard here. But basically, once I'm on the back end, all I want to go to is this slider revolution section. And this is, you're only going to go here if you want to change that, this slider right here. And you'll see right here we have EE Home. Okay, and since we're in this slider, I just want to click Slide Editor. A lot of this stuff can just be, you can just leave the same. So Slide Editor is where I actually get to like the meat of that slider. So my image, my text, and we're also going to be sending you a cheat sheet. And that's going to include all of your image sizes and things like that. So if you did ever want to change out this image or any of the other images throughout the website, we'll have like the optimal sizes that'll look good in that position.
That is awesome.
Great. Okay, so to start, I'm going to show you how to change out that image. And basically that's going to live right here. So if I wanted to change that to something else, I would just click Media Library. And this media library is going to be pretty universal throughout the website. So anytime you want to change out an image, icons, things like that, they're typically going to be in this media library. So you'll see like all of your images or PDFs or anything like that live here.
Mm-hmm.
So with the media library, I do have a couple of options. I can either choose an image that already exists, or I'm just going to grab something that I used on something else recently. I can drag it from my computer right to the media library. And I'll just delete this out when I'm done. And yeah, it's uploaded right there. So if I wanted to use that, I would just hit insert, and that would change. You would actually see it changed on, sorry, I'm going to delete out this real quick. I would see it change on this preview. So keep in mind that that's not actually going to show on the live site until I hit, again, it's another save. So this little save slide here. And that's actually going to make it live on the website. If I wanted to change out any of this text, all I need to do is click on it. And again, it's another little pencil editor. So I can't actually change it if I'm like just try to click into there. I actually need to click on this pencil, and then this is where you can change it if you just wanted to type in something new. And then you see it right there. Okay. And then that goes for any of the other elements. I think there's only a couple in all of your slides, but if you wanted to change that out as well, it's the same thing.
So click it, click the editor, and then use the window to make it.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. And again, once you make any of those changes, just click save up here, this little green save slide. Okay. Any questions on that? So, sorry, before I let you go, will say that that will just change the first slide, any changes you make. If you wanted to change that second one, because it does rotate out, you would just click on slide 2, and it would be the same exact thing. Any questions on those?
No.
Okay, perfect. And while I'm on the homepage, I will show you kind of more, since you're not going to be changing out the slider as much as maybe another image, I will kind of show you a real world application for that. So I'm going to use this one as an example, the join our team one, because that is another kind of universal thing throughout the site where we have like a little chunk of text and then an image. So if you did ever want to change out that, sorry, I shouldn't have closed that out before. Okay, so just scroll down. Again, this is a page builder, so it's very easy since that's at the bottom of the page. I know I just kind of want to scroll down to the bottom here. And this is where that image lives. So this is our text block that's over to the right. And then this is our image right here. So if I did ever want to change out this image, again, it's just that pencil icon. And then the one thing that I'm going to do here is click this plus sign. And then again, you're going to get your entire media library options. So you could click and choose like this image, or you can upload a new file just by dragging and dropping or clicking select files. And then you just want to click set image. So typically anytime you make a change, it's going to ask you if you actually want to make that change. And then you just hit update again. Any questions on that?
It was interesting to me that you didn't first delete the one that was there. Does it just replace it when you click add image?
Exactly, so it'll just replace it. There are a couple, right now we're just on like a single image element. There are other elements that are like gallery ones where if you hit a plus, it would just like add it to that gallery. But since we're just in single image, I could just hit the plus and it would just replace it.
Okay.
But if you did want to exit out of that image too, that's no problem at all. And you could do it that way.
It wouldn't delete the placeholder or whatever?
So until you hit save changes, like if you clicked X on that and then click save changes, you wouldn't have anything there anymore. It might just have like a gray box as that placeholder.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's not until you actually pick a new image from the library, that it'll actually replace it.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions on editing text or images or buttons? We do have this video here, so I'm happy to, if you think you guys are going to be changing out videos a lot, I'm happy to show you that as well.
I don't think so. Might sometimes want a video in a blog post.
Sure.
So we can maybe look at it over there.
Okay, yep. And it is going to be slightly different in a blog post just because blog posts are set up a little bit differently, but it is pretty similar. But I will just show you this anyway, just so that we have it for the record.
Okay.
So it is very straightforward. Again, it's just another element. So if I hover over that, I get video player, and again, it's just a little pencil. And if you're using YouTube, which is what we typically recommend, either YouTube or Vimeo for videos, it's just a matter of copying that link into the video link right here. And we already have like the widths and aspect ratios set up, so you wouldn't need to worry about those. Okay. And this homepage is actually great because we have a ton of different elements on here. Another thing that I do want to go over are these testimonials, because that is a little bit different. So once I'm on the back end of this page as well, instead of seeing like a bunch of different testimonials, it's actually pulling from another testimonial section. So right here, if I were to click in to this one with that pencil, I'm actually not going to actually see any of those like written out testimonials. What I get here is the category, which we have set to home, and then how many testimonials you want to show like per slide. So what this tells me is that I actually need to go to this testimonial section right here. I'm just going to click into that. And right here, you see all of our testimonials. So I know that we have them listed on the home page as well as the about page. But basically, you'll see your category here. And what this is going to tell me is that all of these listed under home category is actually going to show on this home page.
So it's what it's selecting from.
Yep. So this, since we have this testimonial category set to home, that's what that's pulling from.
Gotcha.
And then if I wanted to actually go in, and first I'm going to show you how to edit one. So let's say you wanted to edit out this one. Maybe they added some new words or anything like that. You just click in, bless you, and then type in anything new that you wanted to add here. And then just click update. And that's just going to show on the new, on that same testimonial, like the updated text.
Cool.
So another thing, if I wanted to add a new testimonial to that home page, I can actually just click add new. And it'll give me kind of like a blank template to start with. The testimonial title is basically just for your own reference. It's not actually going to show anywhere. So you can add anything like that. So let's say Julia Dang added a new one. So you, just so that you have that, you would be able to know that's who it's from. And if you wanted if you wanted Julia Dang to also be the author, put that here. And then obviously just write out the new testimonial. The only thing that you do want to make sure you do is just click this little home category here. And that's going to make sure it goes to that home page testimonial.
Okay, so that's what makes that show up in that column.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yep, so that shows up on that little row when it slides back and forth. And for those ones, you can really have as many as you want. It'll just keep sliding through all of them.
Okay.
Is there a place to control the speed of it or things like that?
Yep. So that's actually going to be in your settings right here. So once I click that little pencil, you can actually change all of that here. So you can change the order. So if you wanted it to be by title or by date, you could do that. And this is where we actually have don't show the title. So if you did want to actually add like a new heading to for whatever, you can do that. And then I know there we go, the slideshow interval.
Okay.
And then we have the animation speed as well. The 3000, I think, actually is like 3 seconds. I'm not sure because it's in milliseconds. I'm not sure why they don't just do it in regular seconds, but that's how that is controlled.
One other question from the previous page. Do we
Sure.
always pick default for slide template?
Yeah, so that doesn't need to be changed. Yep, that's the only option.
Okay.
And if you did want to show it on that about page, I'm just going to pull that up real quick so you can see that. But it was just as easy as clicking like show on about. And you can actually have them show on both pages too. So you'd only need to, if you wanted one to show on both pages, you wouldn't need to write it out twice. You would just make sure it's just clicked on both of these.
Cool.
And if you did want to just quickly take one off, you could just uncheck them and it's not going to show anywhere.
Nice.
I'm just going to move this to the trash. Okay, any questions on testimonials?
We had the thought that we might eventually want there to be testimonials about individual tutors on their pro pages. We don't have enough of those right now to do it, but that's like a goal.
Okay.
So would that mean adding a testimonial like element to the tutor profile page?
That's exactly right. So you would have it like per individual tutor. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we would just maybe, I'm not sure. I think each tutor page is actually just set up like a post right now, but we can definitely set it up so that it has like these different options for building blocks, so that if you did want to add a testimonials for those, it would just be a matter of, so this is just kind of like a lesson for the whole site. If you did want to add like a new element to any of these rows, you click this little prepend to column. So what this does, if you click the little plus, it gives you an option of all the different elements that WordPress has. A lot of these we never really use, but there's like a ton of options, so that if you did ever want to customize it a little bit more, you could do that. So you would just click on, there's like a testimonials one somewhere. A lot of times I'll just search it. There we go. So it would just be this testimonials right here.
Gotcha.
And the testimonials carousel is actually the one that we have on the home page where it like scrolls back and forth.
Right. What would be the point of doing it as a testimonials element as opposed to just having it be part of the text of that page?
Basically what we like for this is kind of what I showed you for the home page and the about page. If you wanted to have it on multiple pages, it's just a matter of like creating a new category for that. But if you were thinking about kind of having one specifically for each tutor, it might almost be the same amount of work to just write it in the text block.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Julia, if we are envisioning having that for every tutor, is that something that we should have Mandy set up for us now? Like having to go in and do it on our own?
Yeah, so I think what we can do, like I mentioned, instead of having it, I'm actually going to go to the tutors page right now so I can show you what that looks like. And I'll just get into that next. Sorry. So if I click into a tutor, what we could do instead of just having it set up like a post like this is where you would actually add in that text. We could have it set up more like these building blocks so that if you did want to add in an element, it wouldn't be difficult at all. It would just be a matter of clicking on that like add testimonials carousel and then adding that testimonial to the testimonial section right here.
I don't think that's necessary because well, let me ask Stephen really quickly. So would we ever say we get a testimonial for Neil Rochlan and we want it on his page, obviously, would you ever want it to also be in the slider on the home page? Because that's the deciding factor, I think, in whether we would have to hook it up like that.
I mean, maybe. Because that's the kind of thing that's testimonials. Testimonials about the program, but also about individuals. might be useful to have that pop in there. Like Neil was so awesome, you know. But.
I'm just, I want to see how if you guys decided that having these tutor pages set up like a blog makes things really a lot easier than having them as individual pages. I don't know if I want to go to the work of completely redesigning how the tutors' profiles are.
And sorry, just to jump in real quick, I don't think it'll be like a huge deal anyway, because I know we can set up the blog post to also kind of, what we call this is page builder view. So I think it's just a matter of changing out that view, like clicking a button back and forth. So if you did want to just kind of see it as this normal like post view, it can show like that. But if you also wanted it to show as more of like this page builder view, if you did want to be adding elements in later on, like it's not a huge development feat on our end. Also, another thing that might be helpful, if you say this one guy had like a bunch of testimonials, then you did have the option to kind of have that more like carousel one so they can scroll through.
Yeah.
But just something to think about. Okay. That really covers everything I wanted to go over on the home page. Did you have any other questions on either like adding an image, adding text, anything else about the testimonials or anything like that?
No.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to get into adding a tutor now. So another thing you're going to need to see on this little left-hand sidebar is this tutor section. So if I click on this, I'm actually going to be able to see like a full list of all of my tutors. And right now they're just in alphabetical order by first name. And you can change that if you wanted to go the other way as well. So first I'm going to go over how to edit one that's already available. So we'll do Alec Mark. So I would just click into him. Right now it looks like we don't have any information besides an EE tutor since August 2018. But I think this is pretty intuitive, where this is where his name would go. Any email, phone number, address. Obviously not all of these things need to be filled out for it to show on the front end. Anything that you exclude, it just wouldn't show like the phone number on the front end.
What would be the point of putting that information in there if we don't want it to be visible on the front end?
Really none. Maybe for your own personal reference. I'm just going to pull it up on the front end so that we can kind of have a visual for that as well. Find a tutor. And maybe it would have been more, I should have brought up someone with more information. So Alec Mark, right now we don't have like a headshot for him. Mm-hmm. And I guess since none of those like emails, phones, and things like that, I've talked to Mandy about this a little bit, but it sounds like you guys didn't want something showing. And if we decided that that wasn't going to be shown, it'll just be back here, kind of like for your own reference internally.
Okay.
Got it. So I'm going to actually click into Alec's Mark on the front end, or Alec. So right now, this is the information we do have for him. So a lot of this information, instead of it being right here and you have to type it in, you actually have the option to just kind of like pick and choose as far as like age range, zip code, things like that. So for his grade range, he's 9 through 12 in post-secondary, so you would just click on those.
Mm-hmm.
For the subjects, this is where you get a full list of all your subjects. So you can pick as many or as few as you want. Obviously, he has a lot of different options, but if you wanted to add math, you could just go ahead and check math, and it would show on the front end.
What does make primary mean?
So this is set up like a post, so a lot of these things are similar to how we would do it for normal posts. Since this was a little bit customized, it does still show make primary, but it doesn't make any difference. So you can see algebra here. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look any different from like geometry on the front end.
Okay, so it's not, it doesn't make it first in the list.
I think it's just like if you were to check that one first, it makes it the primary category.
Alrighty.
So there is no way to control what subjects, the order that we list as subjects for any tutoring?
So you actually can do that. So let me see. So under tutors, you have a bunch of different options. A lot of these are if you wanted to add new categories, a new age range. But for your specific question for this taxonomy order, I would just click on taxonomy order right here. And it brings this up. So this is, we want to change the subject order. So the only thing is that this subject order is going to change that subject order for all of your tutors, right? So it wouldn't just change it for Alec, Mark.
Okay.
But if you did want to change, sorry.
So like if we wanted, let's say Alec is like his big thing was physics.
Yeah.
He did all these other subjects. Is there any workaround there where we could have physics as the first thing listed for him?
I need to check with Mandy on that. I don't think so. So this is what we set up if you did want to kind of have like a universal order. So it's very simple. So again, you would just go to taxonomy order, click on subject, and then it's going to be a drag and drop functionality. So if I want computer science to show third, I would just click it to that third positioning. Any questions on that? And then, sorry, just click update at the bottom.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Oh, I do have a question. That doesn't change the order that it appears in the search box on the Find a Tutor page, does it?
Sorry, let me go back. So you're talking about if I was to select a subject here, it's not going to change this order?
Right.
I don't think so, but I will double check. We can try it right now. Okay, let's just say I'm going to put math to the top. Math has a lot of stuff. Let's just put history at the top. And then just hit update. And anytime I want to see if an update has been made on the front end, all I do is refresh the page. And it actually did bring history to the top. So is that going to be a problem if we keep it like that?
No, I think we'll just kind of go through here and probably put the ones that are most popular at the top.
Okay, perfect. Sounds great. Any other questions on this taxonomy order? Perfect. Okay, so while we have this one specific tutor up, let's say I wanted to add a new age range right here, but I'm not actually seeing it in this age range. I can do that by just clicking all age ranges here. Okay, so let's say you wanted to just add kindergarten as a new option for anyone. So I would just go again to that age range category and just add that in. So I would just, this says how it appears on your site. So this is actually what would show right here. I have way too many tabs open. And then usually for the slug, I would just put it as the same thing and it'll just kind of show it as like a lowercase version of that. And then you just click add new age range and it would show on your age ranges here so that you would be able to select that for anyone that you wanted to moving forward. Zip codes, it's the very same way. So adding a zip code, it's just clicking on that little zip button. And I know you guys were still kind of working out the zip codes, but adding a zip code is really just a matter of adding in the zip code, and then same thing for the slug, and then just hitting add new zip, and it'll show as an option.
Is there any limit to the amount of zip codes we can put in there?
I don't think so, no.
And do you have to add one at a time?
I believe so. There might be a plugin or something that we can do if you wanted to add like a bunch at a time. But right now it is just kind of adding one by one. Do you think you guys are going to be doing like a bulk upload? Because I can definitely look into that.
How many are there? We've got 4 right now.
Yes, 4.
I don't know.
And that's no
I
problem. We can.
I think we will, because I think the way that the search is going to work is someone will type in their zip, and then certain people will come up. So we're going to try to figure out. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll need a lot of zip codes in there.
Yeah.
Like every zip code in Chicago, which is like 100.
Sure.
So that we can then just kind of hopefully be able to then just kind of click the ones those apply to. Hopefully we can list them in numerical order, and we can just then go click all the ones we add all these tutors in.
Sure. I'm pretty sure that's something that we can get out of the box, but I'll look into that today and let you know.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, so obviously adding a bio, this is where that biography would go. I'm gonna open up Alex right now so that you can kind of see a full one. So this is what her bio would look like. And again, so on these specific tutors, once I have one open, and let's say I wanted to edit her bio, I can just hit edit tutor right here. And it'll bring up that page on the back end. So this is what her name shows us on the front end, and then this is her bio. And for this one, we actually have the address and phone number and email all ready to go. It looks like we had decided that we don't actually want that to show on the front end. So right now, this is just kind of for your reference. Okay, and then Alex also has a picture as well. So if you did want to add an image for anyone, you actually can just click into there. And again, it'll take you to your media library. And let's say I wanted to change her image to this one. You can see it changed right there. I'm not going to save that. Okay. And then any changes I make, I would just have to hit update to show on the front end. Any questions on editing a tutor? Nope. Okay. And it's very easy to add a new tutor as well. So if I did want to do that, again, under tutors, it's just add new. And it's just going to pop me up with a blank page. So this is where I would fill out all the information from scratch. So you'd enter their name, any internal information you had on them, their bios, and then obviously these kind of right-hand columns are the most important as far as zip code, age range, and subject for the filters on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is what it looks like for the featured image. If something's not already set there, you would just click set featured image. And again, it just takes you to the media library. Okay. Any questions on that?
If we want to remove a tutor.
Sure. Okay. So again, I'm just going to go to that tutor section on the back end, and I'm just going to get there by clicking edit page. Go to tutors. And it's going to take me to that full list of tutors again. And then you get all of your tutors. If you just hover over it, you can click trash, and that'll actually remove them altogether. What I do recommend, let's say you have a tutor that is leaving for the time being, but they could come back, say in like a month or so.
Yeah.
You can actually do just like quick edit right here. Actually, you know what? I am actually going to click into one so that you can actually see it all the way. So if I click into any tutor that I just want to take off temporarily, right here we have the status as published. What I actually want to do is just set that status to draft. So I click edit, and then right here, and then you can just set that to draft. What you do from there is just click update. And you'll see that you still have Alex on the back end of your list.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll set her back to published in just a second. So she's set as draft right now, but if I actually look at the front end again, she's not going to show up there. Yep. So she's not listed there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And now, say she comes back. Again, I just click edit, set. Actually, we don't need to worry about this if we're just publishing her. You just click the publish button right here.
Mm-hmm. One other question. Is there something standard about the unique URL for each tutor's profile page so that we wouldn't have to actually go and find it and click on it and copy it? Like, are they all going to be EE/tutor/ their name hyphenated?
Yeah, so I believe that's how it's set up right now. Moving forward, it's just kind of a matter of, so if I were to create a new page, say it's just Alex Bob,
Mm-hmm.
by default, it would say Alex Bob. You can change it to Alexandria just by hitting this little edit
Right.
and making it their full name. But typically by default, it would have just been tutor/Alex-Bob. But yes,
Okay.
so for all the other ones that don't have like an abbreviated name, I think we just took this how it was on the live site.
Okay. That's good.
But yeah, and that's easy if you did want to update that later on as well.
Okay.
Okay, let's just make sure she's back. And there she is. Okay. Any other questions on tutors?
So,
Nope. Okay, perfect. Okay, I am going to get into blog posts now. Did you have any specific questions on the blogs? It'll probably be pretty similar to how you're doing it now, but I will definitely go through it as well.
No questions off the bat.
Okay, perfect. So again, I'm just going to start with editing an existing post. So if you did want to edit this one, it wouldn't actually be edit page. It's actually, you're going to have to click into that specific one first. And then from here, I can click edit post. And I'll get all of my text and my title. So your title is actually just going to be in this top bar, and that's actually what's just going to show here. If you wanted to change the date, right now we have it as posted on July 31st, but say you made some changes and you wanted to change that published date, it's right now we have it published as July 31st. You just hit edit and you would just select the date that you wanted it to show as.
Ah, cool. So you can make it appear as if it's old.
Exactly. So if you wanted to bury something, you could do that too.
And you can, and then they automatically reorder by date, like.
Yep. So right now we have it set so the newest one goes to the top.
Okay, cool.
So anytime you add a new one, it'll just go to the top.
Yeah.
Categories. So these are any like categories that you wanted to set it as. So for categories, you would just click on the one that you wanted to add but for tags, it's just a matter of typing in what tag you want.
What's the difference?
So categories are more, they're more for the website. So you would actually be able to click into that category and you would see everything that's categorized as like study skills. Tags are more, I would say, for like SEO purposes.
Okay.
So if you were to type something in, it's not like end all be all for like SEO as like for tags, but it does like help a little bit for Google.
Okay.
Okay. And then obviously this is your the content of your post. And then right here we have your featured image. So that's this image right here, and that's also going to be the image that shows on like the preview when it shows like a full blog roll. And again, it's just a matter of clicking into that image and you're going to get your media library again. Perfect. Any questions on editing a post? Oh, you mentioned you might want to be adding videos to these. So that's a great question. Right now, obviously it's set up just like a normal post. This is probably what it looked like when you guys would edit posts on the old site as well. But if I wanted to add a video, I can actually click on this backend editor and it's going to give me those building blocks like it shows on like our regular web pages. And this is going to show on the front end the exact same way as it does right now. But if I wanted to add a video, let's say to the bottom of this, I would just click the prepend to this column. And then my video player right here. And from here you can get that either the YouTube or Vimeo title, or sorry, the video link. And then you can change and play around with like the aspect ratio or the width. A lot of times 100 will like stretch across the whole screen, but if you wanted it a little less than that, you could do like 50%. And obviously the alignment, if you wanted it to be center, you would do center, left, left, and right, right. And what's really cool about these little building blocks is that you can actually drag these around. So if you wanted it to show at the top, you can just click the top there.
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna click out of that. Okay.
And would if a post had a video, would it make sense to then not have a featured image so that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So what I would typically recommend if you did have like a video or another image showing on the post that wasn't the same as like what you wanted to show right here, I would actually, there's this one option. I don't typically recommend going down here because there's like a ton of different options, but the one that I do, so this keyword post layout, most of this you can ignore, but this hide featured image. So this would be if you did add a video to the top of that page and you didn't want this image to show at the top of the post anymore, you could just hit yes on here. So we're hiding the featured image from the post, but it's still going to show as this preview image so that you do have something showing right there.
That's great. I see. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because you want to have a featured image because you want to have.
Exactly. You want something to show on this page, or it's like one being blank would look a little weird next to all the ones with the videos. Yeah. Or sorry, with the pictures. Okay. And then to add a new post, you have a couple of options here. So you can either click add new, and that'll just give you a completely blank slate. So it wouldn't give you like a title or content or anything like that. What I do a lot when I'm doing blog posts is this really handy like copy to a new draft. I'm just going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to leave because I don't want to save any of these changes. But if I copy something to a new draft, this is basically showing me that all of my other like formatting and things like that are going to stay the same. So if I wanted to keep the same categories or if I wanted to add a new one, those all stay the same. If I just wanted to add tips, you can do that. And then from here, I can change out my title to any of the other new titles. And then this can be anything as well. And basically you know that you're not messing with this post right here because it says publish. So this is a completely new post here.
Are there other formatting things that would have to get redone if we didn't copy to new draft, or we trust that if we click add new on the left hand side, it's going to look the same basically as all the other ones?
Yep, and you're totally right, it will. So this is just if you wanted to keep like the same categories or anything like that, you're basically just saving a couple of steps.
Okay, cool.
So just wanted to show you that that is an option. And I'm just going to leave this page, and I don't want to save any of that. And if you did want to take out any posts again or save it to draft, it's going to be the same thing. So a quick way to do that, this is going to be the same for the tutors, is just click quick edit right here, and you'll see that the status right here is published. I can hit that as draft and click update, and it won't show on the front end anymore.
Okay.
Any questions on blog posts?
Nope.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the final thing that I did want to cover was the forms. So I know there's a lot of forms throughout the website. Let's go to this workshop registration. And then to get to the back end of any of the forms, again, I'm just going to go to my dashboard. You do have the option to get there again from this little drop down. But if I just wanted to do it from the dashboard, it's just forms right here. And Mandy mentioned she thought you were using Gravity Forms right now. Is that correct?
No, we have Contact 7.
Okay, perfect. It's no problem at all. So this is a workshop registration form. I'm going to use this as an example. So that's going to be this form right here. I'm just going to click on that. Okay. And we have all of our options here. A lot of these are check boxes, which are pretty straightforward, but then a lot of these are just kind of like regular fields as well. So as far as like just adding in information, like single line text. So if I wanted to add something to like this choose your workshop, if you were adding a new workshop, you just click this little drop down arrow. And it's just as easy as clicking this little plus sign and then adding your new workshop here. And then it shows right there as another checkbox. Let me see here. Let's say you wanted to add like an email address to this parent guardian information. So we don't have that listed here. Actually, we do have that listed, but let's say it wasn't there. Under advanced fields, there's actually an option just for an email. It's just a drag and drop. So I would drag that there. And right here, you would see email come up. This one says parent guardian email. So to actually change out that text, again, it's just clicking on this drop down arrow, and you could change it here.
And the point of using that is that if there's like data validation.
Exactly. So that's what we have. Yeah, so if you want, for the email one, it'll make you put like an at soandso.com.
Right.
And if you don't have that, it won't let the form go through. So these are pretty straightforward. You'll see a little asterisk next to some, so that just means that field is required. And to do that, it's just a checkbox. So you would just click required. And if you decided you didn't want that to be required anymore, it's just an uncheck. Okay. So this is just editing like the physical form if you were going to add fields. Something that you'll probably need to do is if you want to change who that form is being emailed to. So from here, I went to settings and then notifications. And then it's going to be this admin notification one right here. So that means that that is going to like one of you with educational endeavors. So right now it's just going to that info in Mandy for testing purposes. But if you did want to add a new one, you just need to add a comma and then the email address.
Mhm.
And then just hit update notification. Okay. Does that make sense? Any questions on the notifications?
How do you, like, that all fields just means it's going to send us everything?
Oh, yeah. So everything that's in here, like
Right.
everything here, yeah, you're going to get that in the email.
Okay. I guess we wouldn't ever need to customize that. Like, there's no reason we wouldn't want all of it. So.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I know you wanted to kind of see what happens, like if a new or workshop goes live and you want to make that payment. So for this one, since it's workshop registration, I'm actually going to go to confirmations for this one. And you can do that either by hovering over settings and going to confirmations, or again, just this one. So I'm just going to click confirmations here. And right now we have this set as a payment page redirect. So that basically just means that if someone clicks, I think the Ideal Student Workshop is what you have open right now. So if someone were to click on Ideal Student Workshop for the workshops that they wanted to do, they'd be redirected to this confirmation page once they were done filling out the form. So I'll just show you what that looks like. And this is with all the billing details. I know Mike is still working on that payment processing, but that'll be all worked out once we have that. So right now, am I correct that the Ideal Student Workshop is the only one that's currently open?
Yeah, and it shouldn't even be. I just never got around to taking it down, but that class happened. And actually, no, I lied. The Ultimate 8th grade should be open now.
Okay, this one, perfect. I can actually show you how to do that right now. So again, it's going to be in confirmations. Right now we have if the executive, let me see again, if the executive functioning workshops is Ideal Student Workshop, then it's actually going to take you to this workshops page. But if I wanted to add one, so we're going to say if this test prep workshop is the Ultimate 8th grade test prep, it'll take you to that too. So, sorry, so test prep workshop is 8th grade, and then I would just save the confirmation. And now if someone fills out this form and they click this one as well, it'll take you to this workshop registration page with the payment information.
So even though they might have clicked 2 websites or 2 workshops, one that's open and one that's not,
right?
As long as one of them is open for payment, then it'll take them there?
Exactly. So as long as one of them is checked, that's in that conditional logic,
yep,
it'll go to that other one. But let's say they fill out one of these that aren't like either Ideal Student Workshop or Ultimate 8th grade test prep. It'll just take them to a page that says thanks for registering. Once they are, I'm not sure exactly what the confirmation says, but something that says you'll send them that form once it is open.
Right. So can we go back to the confirmations tab for a second? So you're saying basically anytime something opens or closes for payment, we need to add or subtract it from this conditional logic list?
Exactly. And it's always going to be under workshop registration. So are you saying this Ideal Student one is closed now?
Yes.
So we can actually just take that out. It's just removing that one.
Okay. And then what we pick from the drop downs is the category and then the specific item in that category?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions on that?
How do we change what message the customer gets based on whether it's open or closed?
Sure. So by default, if it's open, it will take you to this page.
I meant the email that they receive.
Got it. So again, that's another confirmation. So I'm going to click confirmations again. And this is going to be the default confirmation. So I think that that was still being worked on, but right now this is where you could change that text.
So where the submit button redirects and the email message that they get are both called confirmations?
Yeah, so that's just like confirmations. So that'll basically just tell you that your form has been submitted. And yeah, so sorry, I should be explaining this a little bit better. Yeah, so notifications is like you guys are getting notified that this is happening. Notifications, I think, can also, sorry.
I think I understand because I see on confirmations there are those 3 buttons at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
Sorry, let me go back there real quick. Okay. Sorry, these are all set up a little bit differently, but yeah, so this confirmation, that's basically going to that workshop registrations, but the notification email we actually have set up going to that user if it's not ready to go, is this workshop interest receive form. So sorry, I should have been a little bit more clear on that.
That's okay.
So this is the email that the user is actually going to get once they filled out this form and it's not open yet. So if you click on that, this is the email they're going to get.
Okay.
And this is like the conditional. So it's going to give you like the name that they've filled out because it asks for your name. And then thank you for your interest. And then the rest of that.
Where do we get those conditionals? Can we copy and paste them from somewhere?
Yeah, so the conditionals are actually right here. So if you wanted to do like the student first name, you could click that.
Okay.
And I'll actually just show you what that looks like. And that's just going to put that right at the end, but I can move that around if I need to because it's just like a text block.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Sorry, does that make sense?
I think so. So it looks like the option for the customer to receive an email exists in both confirmations and notifications.
Yes.
But we're just doing it on the notification side.
Right. So the notifications is just going to be if the workshop is not ready yet.
Okay. So how do we adjust that based on which, well, I guess, like you said, it's always gonna, I don't know. I'm just a little confused about what do we turn on and off for each form based on what's opened and closed?
Got it. No, that totally makes sense. So again, it's going to be that confirmations. For the workshops, you can turn on any of these so that if it does, like if any one of these open, it'll go to that workshop registration checkout.
Right, that part I got.
But if, like I said, if that's not the case and it's not open, it'll just by default take you to, it'll just send you that email.
Okay. Well, okay, here's what I'm wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get an email if they make the purchase?
I believe so, but right now, since the payment processing isn't like fully set up yet, right now, no. But they will get something that says, thank you. I don't know what the exact language will be, but it'll give them like what they paid. Typically, anytime anyone submits like a payment, we'll definitely send out an email saying, thank you for your payment. This is how much you paid, kind of like a receipt.
Right. Okay. I'm wondering if we can have that also say, well, yeah, we can talk about that once the payment stuff is
Sure.
done.
Absolutely. Any other questions on that? I know it's a little bit confusing.
I just want to make sure I know all the things. I'm used to having to do so many things when a workshop is.
Absolutely.
I guess we need to change it on the page itself, like on the workshop page where there's a description of the workshop and then it says register now or tell us your interest or whatever.
Yep. So sorry, the academic enrichment workshops. So like these buttons right now, either it says request information or notify me when registration opens.
And
Sorry.
see how it says scheduled to be determined or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah, so those, again, it's just gonna be as far as editing the page. So I'm just gonna click edit page again. Again, you just want to make sure that form, like that conditional logic is added so that it knows which one is open. But as far as editing on the back end of that page, it is just as simple as kind of editing the text to show it as such. So right now, scheduled to be announced. Let me just show you what that looks like real quick. Okay, so right here we have the schedule to be announced. We just have that set up as a text block. So once you actually know the schedule, you can update that just in a text block.
Gotcha.
And then as far as editing the button text, right now it says notify me when registration opens. If you just want to send them to that workshop registration page, it's just copying this register link and editing the link here. And then maybe say like workshop registration form or something like that. But this is the text that will show on that button.
Yeah, gotcha. I think the link will always be the same because they're going to fill out that form regardless.
Right.
Right.
Yep, that's exactly right.
All right, cool. That sounds good.
Okay. And I think that is what I wanted to go over. Did you have any other specific questions that I can answer?
Don't think so.
And if you do come up with anything else, obviously you can always feel free to email or give me a call. I'm always happy to help, especially when we are first going live.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess that's one question I have. Once we do go live and we're moving ahead, how do you guys operate? Like, this has been a great training and all that, but I know from experience, I don't want Aaron or myself staring at this trying to figure this out for a few hours when someone on your end can figure it out quickly. I mean, what do you guys have going forward as far as as far as programming, what we sign up for, as far as so we can get conditions, so we can get support along the way if we need to do that, or is it just a matter of you just charge us an hourly rate or what?
Sure. So for the next, once you go live, you have 30 days after that, or any kind of edits that you want to make, you can always just email one of us and we'll take care of it. That goes for like any other training or anything you want to do. That's just part of the website package. Moving forward, we do have a couple of maintenance packages. As far as support goes, our gold plan, it really kind of gives you that hour of support each month. But if you did just want to make, like, say you wanted to make a change on like this registration page, one of us can give you a quote. Like, say you just wanted to add some text or add a couple of new elements, we can give you like a quote for that. Say it was going to take us like half an hour, we would quote you at like $50, and then you would just give us a yay or nay, and then we would just go from there.
All right, that's great to know. That's good because sometimes if it costs you if it costs us $50 to have you do it, or it's like 3 hours for Aaron to try to do it, I'd rather give you the $50.
Totally.
So it'd just be a matter of shooting you an email and saying, hey, this is what we need done, and then you'd give us a quick quote and we give thumbs up.
Yep, that's exactly right. And moving forward, as far as post go live support, it's typically going to be me that's going to be helping you with stuff like that. So if you have any questions or do you want to quote on anything, you can direct all of those to me.
And like you said, we have 30 days from go live to just basically anything that we see that we're like, you know what, actually this picture kind of sucks and it's bugging me. It didn't bug the first 10 times, but now it's bugging me. Like, and you guys we got this first month to work out all those little.
Yep, that's exactly right. So basically any kind of things like that within reason. So if you wanted to add like full new functionality, that would be more of like a quote basis, but anything like that, yeah, that's no problem at all.
Okay, because, until it goes live and I've looked at it and said it's fine 10 times, and I'm like, you know what, actually, yeah, I don't like that. So you'll still talk to us for the next 30 days before getting too annoyed, right?
Absolutely, and even after that as well.
All right, I appreciate that.
No problem.
Great.
Any other questions? And I can send you actually a link to our maintenance page, sorry, so that you can kind of decide if you do want to enroll in any of our maintenance plans.
Okay.
Or if you just kind of wanted to do it on like a hourly or per project basis.
Okay.
Cool. Will we use the same login and just need a different link, or how will our WordPress, our current WordPress login, is it irrelevant, or is it?
So right now I think it's irrelevant, but if you did want to keep the same ones, I'm happy to just kind of move those over. You just need to send me.
No, it doesn't matter. I just wonder whatever link we need, please.
Yep, we'll send you over all of that. I'll actually send you over a cheat sheet. Usually we do it after go live just because right now all the links aren't really accurate because we're on the sandbox.
Right.
But if you think you're going to be making changes, I'll definitely send those over today with kind of like the sandbox ones. And then once we get those updated, I'll just send you a new version.
No, I don't think it's necessary. No.
Okay.
Last question. Are there things that we're going to have to do before we go live regarding our old website and the people that put that together, and things that have to be done from their end so that this transition works seamlessly and people won't keep finding the old site?
Since we're using the same URL, we shouldn't have that problem, but Mike is typically the one that handles like the go live stuff. So I'll talk with him to see, I know he'll get in touch with you about like go lives and what we'll need from you as far as like domains, hosting, and things like that.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, any other questions?
Really helpful.
Yeah, I appreciate your time.
Perfect. And I will get you over. Actually, I will just send you over the cheat sheet now so that you do have the video. And I'll get that over to you by the end of the day if that works for you.
That's great.
Okay, great. Thank you guys for your time, and I will be in touch later.
All right, Julia, appreciate it.
No problem. Bye-bye.